Both the sides putting up some decent performances yesterday, and that's where day two, they'll be banking on their confidence. Qatar had a good contest with Kuwait, but Kuwait overshadowed them. We have Kashif with the ball in hand for Qatar. On the other side, it is the dominant Isha Oza on strike. Immediately runs on offer for Isha Oza. Joining me in the comm box, the senior statesman, the man who knows this game very well, Jamil Zaidi.
Thank you, Pranav, and very good morning to all the viewers all around. Yes, it is going to be a good contest today, though Qatar lost yesterday against Kuwait, but definitely it was a good match, very close contest. And UAE is riding high on the yesterday's win over Oman. And the intentions are very much clear from Isha. Very first delivery, she just ran for a run. Lot of hard work required from Qatar to keep the UAE batters in check.
And it almost feels as if Isha Oza has cracked this format, the T20Is in the women's category. The way she plays, the way she dominates. And then she's partnered by Tirtha. Oh, very first delivery for Tirtha. Aisha, the captain, is never going to be missing out on that. She had to reach out for it. Just couldn't get the better part of the bat. And Aisha holds on to this one. The very second delivery of the game. Tirtha Satish is back to the dugout.
Well, everywhere Aisha you can find while she's batting, bowling and fielding. This time it's outside the off stump. She tried to play it over to the cover point boundary and very nicely taken by Aisha. So very, very early jolt for UAE. Satish back to the dugout.
1-for-1 UAE as Amna Kashif gets the better of Tirtha Satish. Keza, Miriam, Sebin, the left-hander comes to the middle. Didn't have much of an opportunity yesterday. Hers in line, Amna Kashif trying to create something really special.
She's a very, very good bowler, Amna Kashif. And today she just showed that how good she is. That was coming outside the off stump. And Satish tried to play it out over to the cover boundary. But very well jumped over, taken by Aisha.
Even the seam movement. Look at that movement. Yes, it's going to be extras. But certainly she's got the seam right, and that's where huge movement in the air. And even after it bounces onto the wicket, a little bit of a moisture that's available early in the morning. So early advantage for Qatar.
Actually, the problem was getting the ball grip on it because of the moisture. That's why these two wides have been delivered by Amna. Just down the leg side, placed it out towards the fine leg.
Should have been a wide on most occasions. But Sabin chooses to get bat on ball. Funny game of cricket. If this would have gone to the boundary, it was a brilliant shot. If it doesn't go to the boundary, we say, oh, that should have just been let alone.
Of course, if there was no fielder on the fine leg, it could have been a boundary, huh?
Funny game of cricket. This is going to be very interesting. Amna Kashif versus Isha Oza. Lovely back foot drive. Incredible how often she has so much of time. Almost as if she knows what the bowler is going to be doing to her.
The ball is coming late onto the bat. She's waiting for the ball to come. That's the reason why she has played so confidently and comfortably. It is only to understand the nature of the wicket for the batters who came early to bat on, the openers especially.
But then, Jamil bhai, there's always a range of batters. You talk about Rohit Sharma, you talk about his lazy elegance, you talk about Isha Oza and her quality, her potential, her domination in the women's circuit.
Well, talking about Isha, she is one of the best all-rounders in UAE and also in the Gulf area as well. But we don't know much about how far she was good in playing the international cricket.
I think she was the man of the tournament the last time the GCC Women's T20I Championship happened here in Oman. Fences 1, 7. End of over number 1. Something for everyone. 5 for the loss of 1 UAE. One of the prolific bowlers for Qatar, Maria Teresa. Decently quick. But she's going to be up against Isha Oza. Every time you see Isha Oza, you're in that moment of awe. Never looks to rush on. That's the quality of Isha Oza. But then to keep her quiet, Maria Teresa, she's a class act as well.
Well, today the body language of the Qatari players looks to be extremely on top notch. You can see the effort made by Teresa on this delivery on her own bowling. So that intention, that intensity required. Once again, into the stumps, open the face of the bat. It's going towards the third women rather. So one more to the total.
The two umpires for this game is Meera Bhanushali and Ridwan Parker. And let's not forget that they're going to be assisted by technology. For the very first time in the GCC Women's Championship, you have the DRS option. And we've all seen that how effective it was yesterday. A few decisions were overturned.
Well, I think this is a very, very good move by the authorities to introduce DRS to these budding cricketers coming up to coop up with international cricket. Played it out beautifully off the toes, down towards the square-like boundary. And what an effort. Absolutely brilliant. That commitment requires from the teams and the players.
Excellent cricket all throughout. Starting with that lovely flick on the legs from Sabin. Almost felt as if it had 4 written all over it. But then that effort from Lahara, the left arm spinner, showing her magic in the field. Certainly saving 1 run for her side. Oh, what has happened here? Is it 1 shot? Yes, certainly it's 1 shot. So it's only going to be, it's only going to be a couple of runs. Dancing down the track on this occasion. Doesn't get the better part of the bat and hence a quick single for Isha Oza.
Today I talked to you, the Qatari fielders are electrifying at the moment in the ground. And they have to snatch at least a win to get their confidence back.
It's almost a must win for Qatar because they can't be going down 2 games in a row. They went down to Kuwait. Almost wrong in saying went down to Kuwait. Went down to dominating Kuwait. That's how I should be putting it. That's how that performance was from Kuwait. Oh, right in the block hole. Maria Teresa is a gem of a bowler. She's quick, she's aggressive, and she gets that late movement to castle the stumps right in the block hole. What a gem of a delivery from Maria Teresa.
Absolutely stunning delivery from her. In the block hole, uprooted the stumps. And now UAE really looks to be a bit in trouble. Wicket number 2, back to the dugout. It's only 9 on the... Look at that one, beautifully bowled into the stumps. Having no chance for Sabin to put it on. So once again, great comeback, great bowling from Qatar.
Some wonderful visuals on your screen, courtesy of the hard work put in by the production team. Emotions flowing for Qatar at the moment. Yes, they've got 2 early wickets. Starting with Tirtha Satish, the young keeper bat for UAE. And that was followed by this gem of a delivery. Late swinging into the arc of Keza, Miriam, Sabin, and she had no answer. Almost a celebration of frustration. A lot of emotions flowing for this young talent. Maria Teresa charging in once again. Late movement for Maria Teresa once again. There is moisture on offer, and that's where she's capitalizing and utilizing the facilities to its best. 2 overs done, 9 for the loss of 2 UAE. Amna Kashif sliding down the leg. A little bit of a deflection from the wicketkeeper, and hence it's only a wide.
Once again, brave move by the wicketkeeper, standing on the wicket. That shows the confidence of the wicketkeeper. She has got a good pace, Amna Kashif. Way outside the office stump, wide.
Struggling with the line. Amna Kashif, we do know she has a couple of deliveries. One is that big in-swinger, and the second one is the one which angles away. Doesn't really swing much, but just angles away from the right-hander. It's more of a release point that Amna Kashif has. At the moment, both of those deliveries are not working. Big in-swinger, and this is much better. Much better line and length from Amna Kashif.
Brilliant bowling so far from Qatar. Lot of pressure on both the batters. And from here on, we're talking about Oza. Her experience comes now. How she can take the team towards a, what you call most respectable total, decent total to chase for Qatar.
What a drive. What a drive. Believe it or not, these are visuals of its quality. These are unbelievable visuals. Just rocking on the back foot and playing it through the line. Never thought that was going to be going to the boundary, but Isha Oza, you beauty, what a talent you are.
She's a tall lad onto the back foot from the meat of the bat. Picks the cap beautifully. So the first boundary for the UAE in this match against Qatar.
almost feels as if she's manufacturing time. That is how much time she has. Trying to play it late on this occasion. Square of the wicket, doesn't get runs. The class of Isha Oza almost carries the UAE side on her own back.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. All her experience behind her. And I think I like her calmness and coolness as an opening batter. It should be the quality of a good opening batter. Once again onto the back foot, plays it out towards mid-on for the single. Whatever the moisture now in the wicket, I'm sure in the next 2-3 overs it will be evaporated and it will start playing true.
Certainly, it's only a matter of time. It's only the first 6 to 8 overs when there is a little bit of an advantage. And the reason I say it little bit is because only if you know how to utilize that early advantage, it's an advantage. Talking about Isha Oza, 32, an average of 32 in women's T20Is. We have Renita Rajat on strike at the moment.
Very disciplined bowling so far from Qatar, except from that one boundary which has been hit by Isha Oza. Otherwise, the ball is really coming into the batters. Good, intelligent bowling from both the Qatari bowlers. They're not trying something odd. This time onto the back foot, plays it out for the single. So, end of over number 3. It is 17 for 2, UAE.
We were talking about Renita Rajat. Early days for Renita Rajat. She's come from the under 19 ranks of the women's category. She's played as many as 56 games. You were talking about the number and the quality and the quantity. And this makes a big difference. She's played 56 games. She's still to prove her mantle with the bat in hand. She's averaging only around 9. And her highest is 27. But she does well in the ODI formats, where she averages 21 and a best of 59 not out. Hit through the line and it's pierced the circle. And every time that happens, the ball certainly travels to the boundary. So power on offer from Renita Rajat.
It was in the block hole and beautifully placed with the timings. We're talking about the experience now. 56 matches she had played. And if you talk about the other teams, I don't think so any other players. You talk about Oman, maybe 1 or 2 girls who had played that much matches in the career.
Erring in line will be required to reload. But the most important factor, it all comes down to the management, and why I will just justify. Renita Rajat in their T20I format is averaging just around 9, below 9 rather. Okay. On most occasions, most managements wouldn't look to count on her, but she's in the side because her strike rate is just around 100. And that's where it is very lethal. So she plays those cameo knocks. So she has a well-defined role, in my understanding. And that's what we've immediately seen with that shot down the ground.
Well, one or two shots definitely couldn't, justify that she or he is a very, very good, talented player. Yes, of course. When you have played so much cricket, so many matches in your hand, you have played that much experience with you. So I think you have to do something. I mean, it's not like that. Unless some outstanding ball comes and get you out. Otherwise, with that much experience, I'm sure you are going to get some runs on board.
I agree with you, Jamil Bhai, but credit where due. In the air, outside part of the bat, almost felt as if she was looking to intentionally guide it to third. Gets a single in the process. But coming back to our point, yes, I agree with everything you said. But let's not forget that if you're talking about the likes of UAE or you're talking about the likes of Oman, both these countries have created a lot of potential talents from youngsters. You see Aryan Bisht from Oman, you talk about Chirag Suri, and we can go on, numerous examples. And that's where the investment at the grassroots level is very much evident.
Well, there is much difference between UAE and Oman. As I mentioned earlier, also we talked about this so many times, that UAE has got variety of teams arriving in UAE in all formats. Under 16 boys, under 19 boys, men's teams, under 16 girls, under 19 girls, women's teams coming to them all through the year playing with them. So the more matches, more variety you play, obviously your standard goes a bit up. Whereas contrary to that, we are not playing that much matches at our ground.
I have to agree with you there, but it's only a matter of time. I really feel that it's only a matter of time. Everything takes time, and that's where I think the direction of the Oman team is in the right direction.
All the support required for a team from any board, I think Oman Cricket Board is exceptional to that.
No two thoughts about that.
Absolutely, facilities beyond your dreams have been given to all the format. Under 13, under 16, under 19, women's team, men's team. So what else? A team required, it has been given.
What a moment! What a moment! Isha Oza! This deserves a cartwheel. Certainly deserves a cartwheel. They are going to be celebrating for the next 10 minutes because Isha Oza has had a brain fade movement and Qatar has picked up the third wicket. What a moment for Qatar.
Absolutely stunning catch. And that is two of the most elevated player of the UAE, Isha Oza. Look at that catch. Jingled down a couple of times in the air. Look at that one. Held come again, couple of drops and finally grabbed it. And what a wicket it is for Qatar. Look at the jubilation. And UAE really in trouble at the moment. 3 wicket down for 23 only.
Celebration says it all. What a moment for Qatar. They went down without putting up a good fight against Kuwait yesterday, and all of a sudden today, they've put UAE into all sorts of trouble. The same UAE side, which created havoc against the home nation Oman, no chance whatsoever for Oman. They were beaten by 10 wickets, and today, Qatar, exceptional. They had a plan, they came up with a plan, and they have executed the plan to perfection.
Absolutely. All credit to the captain of Qatar, Aisha Khan. She is really a top leader for the team. Always excelling batting, bowling and fielding. And what a wicket it was for now for Qatar. And of course, UAE must be now thinking that how to get a good, decent total on the board with losing 3 early wickets in the span of the first power play.
You have to be giving credit to Maria Teresa. Second wicket for her. She obviously got the wicket of Kezia Miriam Sabin. And now to come back and pick up that big wicket of Isha Oza. Certainly one of the big contenders of player of the game. 23 for the loss of 3 UAE at the end of 4.
A new bowler has been introduced from Qatar. It is Al Khair. And what a great performance from Qatari bowlers today, and some excellent fielding as well. And I'm sure this is the beauty of this game, Pranav. Any day belongs to anyone, and it happens today in the morning.
Oh, absolutely. That's a no-brainer. Any day belongs to anyone. Cricket is a big equalizer. The foul, Al Khair comes into the attack from the Oman LNG end. But most importantly, you need to figure out that how you dominate, continue to dominate this game. That's what Qatar would be working out on. Oh, it's a no ball. It's going to be a no ball. You just don't want to be doing something like that and allowing UAE to get back into the game.
Yeah, of course, I think she's the first match she's playing now. Of course, some match pressure. And there's two against a strong team of Qatar, or rather UAE. But of course, it happens, She's playing the first match. And I hope that she will come back again to this groove, what for she is. This time in the middle, try to play it out across the line. But finally, 4 runs comes for UAE.
Certainly in favor of UAE. It was a gem of a delivery, back of length, just around the stumps, trying to create room. And a little bit of an inside edge is what I understand. On most days, it could have been a chopped on. But Renisha Rajit finds a way to get a boundary. The last thing that UAE want is the back of Renisha Rajit. They're counting and banking on Renisha Rajit to take the game deep. Full toss, driven, finds the gap. She strikes the ball very well. Right from the meat of the bat, Renisha Rajit accumulates back-to-back boundaries.
Well, that was a juicy full toss and nicely placed by Botha. And got 2 successive boundaries. Runs definitely are required for UAE after losing those 3 valuable wickets. So this game looks to be heading for a good end. The way the Qatari bowlers are doing, they have to do a lot of work while batting. So onto the back foot once again, through the covers into the midfield. But the super cover is there.
Need to build a partnership, and that's exactly what is happening. I think it's a wrong option of bringing in Tafaul Al Khair, 3 wickets down. I really feel Amna Kashif should have continued, or if not, the most experienced bowler Aisha should have come into the attack from this side. Because you don't want UAE to settle in. You want to continue that pressure, you want to build on that pressure, and you want to dominate UAE. It's a professional side.
Well, I think what the captain is thinking, of course, she has something in her mind to bring her. Could have been a good option what you're talking about. She has to come back herself. Sometimes, you try to put pressure. They already lost 3 wickets. A new bowler, of course, they will take little cautious in playing them. So she's trying to put those non-regular bowlers to get some practice and get 1 or 2 overs in between, because she used to come after 8 and 9 overs.
Another full toss, a good diving effort, keeps it down to just a single. I don't really think it's a great idea because she's already conceded 13 runs in 4 deliveries. Still 2 deliveries to go. And how expensive are these 13 runs? It's 33% of the runs scored. So majority of the runs coming in the power play are from this over. And it continues to flow.
Well, I think she has to check her length and line. Try to bowl in the stumps. You're right up to some extent, yes. But again, if she could have got a wicket, definitely things would have been a bit different.
Not disagreeing with that fact. Yes, she can pick up a wicket still and it can be an extraordinary over. But in a game of probabilities, you would want Aisha with the ball in hand. You don't want to give an opportunity to somebody new when the opponent is down and out. 3 wickets down. Out of those 3 wickets, Isha Oza is one of those wickets. So it's a great start for Qatar, and they've just given it away with this 14-run over. Make it 15 now, and still counting.
You're right. But again, I mentioned you that time for getting some new players to get used to with these big matches, because she has not been bored in the last, not even being in the playing 11 in the last 2-3 matches they have played. The Tri-Nation series and yesterday also.
Make it 16 now.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest overs so far in the favor of UAE.
It's been very expensive. Tafaul Al-Khair. Certainly the captain needs to have a word. There's someone who's already having a word with her. Somebody needs to calm her down and just make her understand. Because after a point, you start feeling guilty and you drown in that pressure. In the air, over covers. Make it a 20-run over from Tafaul Khair. Just when Qatar was dominating the affairs, UAE have found a way to come back into this game.
Well, absolutely, you're right. One of the best over for UAE, worst over for Khair. This time outside the off stump, up on the face of the bat, over to the cover boundary for another boundary, and 4 more runs to the UAE total. 43 for 3 at the end of 5 overs.
Change in voices in the comm box, and of course, thank you, Jamil Saab and Pranav. This one is going to be a great contest. It's UAE versus Qatar, and 43 for 3 is what they stand at the end of 5 overs. Joining me in the comm box is a fresh new voice and welcoming a thorough expert in the proceedings at the moment, Mr. Freddy. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and I hope I'll have a good stint here in the comm box.
Looks to cut it backward point in action. Now Qatar have managed to certainly give a good run for their money to the UAE side that's come out there, winning the toss and electing to bat first.
Yeah, they bowled very well for the first 4 overs. Unfortunately, the 5th over went for 20-odd runs, where they have just given it up. Hopefully they will pull it back.
Full delivery, looks to just push it towards that offside region, and I think Maria has been absolutely key. She's picked up those 2 crucial wickets, including one of Captain Isha Oza from UAE. And what is it, something that really makes you take notice about Maria, John?
I can see Maria has a very smooth and flowing action, and I think she's going to prove a handful for the UAE girls.
Full delivery. Now this one was dealt with. Botha just manages to bring the bat down in time, and as a matter of fact, unlocking that square leg region is going to be as many as 4 runs for Botha. Maria erring in line, but then certainly have a look at those figures. 14 of 2, even after this ball has gone for a boundary.
Yeah, she seems to be having good control, and yeah, that was a lovely shot. That's end of over number 6 and end of power play 1. That's end of over number 6 and end of power play 1. And UAE are now 47 for 3. Make it 50 for 3 at the end of the power play.
Here are how things panned out. Amna Kashif started proceedings with the ball and immediately producing results. Aisha Mohammed, the captain of Qatar, making sure that she doesn't drop many. It was the first wicket of Tita Satish, but then the left-hander came into the middle. She didn't last long because then Maria produced an enduring spell. Amna Kashif too got a treatment from the powerhouse that Isha Oza is. Some big boundaries down the ground, commanding shots from both the ends by UAE. But then there was a horror situation where Isha Oza was taken out of the equation. That catch at mid-on leading to her dismissal. Boundaries kept flowing, especially in that over of the foul where she went for quite a few runs. Eventually, that power play phase, I believe, can be called even Stevens. UAE have got the runs, yes, of course, but then 3 wickets. And especially, it's going to be those 3 big wickets, the top order being taken out of the equation by Qatar. They've come into this game with some serious intentions. Rohit Akhtar with the ball in hand, immediately beating that outside edge of Botha.
A good shout, first ball up.
Rohit Akhtar now just making sure that she gets her field placements right. Immediately you see there's an additional fielder being added to that leg side around that deep mid-wicket region, and then that, at the mid-wicket region, and the deep mid-wicket now moves towards square leg. This one has got to be a foolish sort of a delivery. Plays it back to the bowler, slightly short of good length.
Straight back to the bowler, and Rohit Akhtar is into a first over.
Something about Aisha Mohammed, the captain of Qatar, Freddie Saab, I tell you, she normally gets a lot of things going right her way. However, on this occasion, that deep mid-wicket fielder had been brought to deep square leg, and immediately Botha unlocks that area for a good boundary to have. Rohit Akhtar going for 4.
Yeah, she noticed the gap and played it over the mid-wicket fielder, and 4 runs to her.
But credit to Aisha Mohammed. I'm pretty sure you have been noticing the way Qatar is doing things around. There are these glimpses of brilliance that just comes from her, the bowling change-ups and the field placements. Right at the moment, just looking to work it away towards the onside. Looking for that second, not going to get it. Botha, fresh off a boundary. She's played 11 deliveries on 11. As far as the runs are concerned, it's Rajat who's doing the bulk of the scoring, and in quick manner, 21 of 13.
Yeah, coming to Qatar, I think they played brilliantly the first 4 overs. The field placements were spot on, and we could see a lot of enthusiasm in the players.
Once again, that fielder Aisha Mohammed, and you'll always find her standing in that cover, extra cover sort of a position and commanding things and makes sure that nothing goes past her. So very, very peculiar personality, Aisha Mohammed. On the other hand, now we are looking at UAE also trying to resurrect this innings. They're looking to build an innings from here onwards. It's going to be very important with the way how they approach things.
Oh, that was a quick single there.
With that single also, it's all going to be the end of the over. 7 gone. Rohit has gone for 7 in her very first. 57 for the loss of 3 wickets, UAE. 7 overs gone, and now you see Qatar utilizing those middle overs with those handy bowlers that they have, and Jayatrude Chandiru is one of them. She'll be employing her trade with that right arm slowish sort of a delivery, keeping it wicket to wicket. She's a partnership breaker, mind you, immediately producing results, beating that outside edge.
So Jayatrude Chandiru has been introduced into the attack, and as my co-commentator said, she's straight away induced that outside edge for her.
Shot once again, and this one's cut, and cut well. The fielder will circle around it, not before Michelle Botha will manage to get a couple of runs added to the total. She certainly looks like a prolific striker of the ball. She's getting that ball right on the middle, isn't she?
Yeah, that was a good stroke, and the cow point fielder did well to cover up the area and stop it for 2.
Dragging Botha onto that front foot. What is Chandiru doing really well over here, Freddie Saab? I need you to just have a look at her and make sure that, you know, all the basics are right. There's nothing special in her deliveries, but what is it that makes her so effective? Because she seems to be a partnership breaker on most occasions. Plays it back to the bowler.
Yeah, I can see she's keeping it simple. She's just bowling it straight, and she's not giving away too much for the batters to do right now.
Cuts once again, and there is a vacant or a large gap, or there's some little bit of misunderstanding, yes and no's, between Botha and her partner. So only going to be kept down to a bare minimum 1. Now Chandiru is a partnership breaker. She'll keep it simple, keep it wicket to wicket, look to toss it up most often, and then wait for the batter to make a mistake. Shot this time around. Back foot punch towards a waiting Aisha Mohammed, the skipper, and just like that we are done with the Chandiru over. As simple as it may sound. Over number 8 gone, UAE are 60 for 3. Rohit Akhtar continues. She's coming back for her second over. Great delivery straight away. Full sort of a delivery right onto the stumps.
Yeah, it was a straight delivery, and I think what Rohita is planning to do here is just keep it wicket to wicket and try to contain them, as keep their score as low as possible.
Plays it off the back foot. It's a good punch. What is it that Qatar can do here? I'm not speaking too much about UAE because they're a thorough professional side, so they must have their strategies and plans already chalked out. But for a side like Qatar, who are posing a challenge to a mighty side such as UAE, what is something that they can actually end up doing right away?
I think at this point of time, with UAE 63 for 3 now, with the 9th over being bowled, all they can try and do now is to contain them as much as possible, keep it tight, bowl wicket to wicket, and expect their fielders to put in a little more better performance compared to the last few overs. And I think they should be good to give a fight.
Shot and dealt with severely. This one's an aerial shot towards that deep mid-wicket region, towards that cow corner region as a matter of fact. And she's going to help herself to a boundary. This is probably the second time she's looked to access that area.
Yeah, she's being smart. She's looking at the vacant areas and trying to hit the ball into those slots. And this has procured 4 runs for her.
Smart player from Michelle Botha. She was slow off the blocks and now dealing in boundaries. And what's very important is a lot of experience that comes into play. Looks to cut straight into the hands of the fielder. You can't get past Aisha Mohammed on most occasions.
So I can see Qatar, compared to yesterday's performance, they have put up a much better performance today, and they are hoping to carry the good work.
Works her way towards the onside. Oh, this is an absolute mishap right in the middle of the pitch. Michelle Botha will be very, very relieved that this has not gone south for her. It's the end of the over with that single. However, it's not in the most convincing manner. Yes, runs have come off it though. 9 overs gone. UAE are 69 for the loss of 3. Chandiru continues, tosses it up, plays it downtown. Long on, will keep it down to a minimum.
Yeah, as you can see, Chandiru once again bowling wicket to wicket.
Slightly back of length. Now dot balls after dot balls, and Chandiru, if you can already notice a couple of deliveries into this over, and she's just managed to give away 4 runs. These are the kind of overs that you would need to pinpoint and keep it very, very quiet for UAE. Oh, big shot. Just when you thought that she was looking to keep it quiet, Rajit has certainly managed to tonk one downtown. It's only going to be a boundary, but what a great shot that was.
Oh, that was a lovely shot with all her might, straight down the ground for a 6. Lovely shot. Oh, that was a boundary.
Was a big shot, so high, it certainly deserved a 6 as a matter of fact. However, boundary is all that Rajat will have to make do. Shot once again, deep mid-wicket is stationed at the boundary ropes. It's only going to be a single. Now Chandiru also gone for runs, but still that effort in that first over of hers was absolutely key. Keeps it outside the off stump, wide, and once again a mid-pitch confusion between the striker and the non-striker. And they'll have to sort this one out very quickly, UAE, otherwise a wicket's pending.
Yeah, there seems to be some miscommunication between them, lots of S's and no's. We saw this earlier in the over and even in the previous over. So they got to pull their act together.
Rinita Rajat, and she's been playing that attacking role all throughout. Already 28 of 19, make that 29 of 30 deliveries. And these are the kind of innings that can actually change the course of the match. still that confusion and the communication between the two batters. And now they will have a good time to discuss this because it's 10 overs done and the players will have a mid-innings break, a little bit of respite for the players as well as us in the comm box.
Right, then we are back after a short break. A much needed breather. UAE versus Qatar. Game number 1 of day 2. And won't be wrong in saying that UAE have found a way to come back into this game after Qatar picked up 3 early wickets. In the comm box with me, it is none other than Freddie Lonapan, the man you would generally see in the middle doing the umpiring duties. Welcome, Freddie. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Pranav. Yeah, this being my first stint in the comm box, it's a totally different experience, but I seem to be enjoying it.
Certainly, you have to be enjoying it because the kind of understanding that you have of the game, being there in the middle, you're just going to be passing that on to us from a very different perspective. You know, everybody has a different view of this wonderful game of cricket, and that's where a lot of knowledge to be shared.
Knowledge is always to be shared. You can't keep it to yourself. It has to be shared.
Absolutely. Rohit Akhtar continues from the Oman LNG end. She's into her third over. She's been a little expensive for her liking. She's generally very spot on. But then it is the pair of Renisha Rajit and Michelle Botha that are doing the damage. 25 of 24 for Michelle Botha, who's on strike at the moment. Feds this one.
Yeah, good recovery by Botha and Rajita after what Qatar had done to UAE, getting those 3 early wickets. It's a good partnership building up here between Botha and Rajita.
And that's going to be the key moving forward. They would want to get closer to the 15th over mark. And they are very strong fielding side as well. So they would believe that if they can get somewhere close to 150 or maybe even 140, they stand a good chance.
I think so, yes. With the way the UAE girls field and bowl, I'm sure 140 will be a very, very good score for them to defend.
Plays this one on the leg side. Scampers for a single. They're pushing for the second. Won't get it on this occasion though. So Freddie, 79. They're into the 11th over. What do you think? Can they get to 140?
I think it is very much possible. I think these two batters will look to see how they go up to the 15th over, and then from there on maybe they will go for an onslaught depending on the wickets which they have in hand.
Outside edge, wide of the fielder at third. Lot of legs on the ball, and that means that a diving Lahiru is not going to be contributing. 4 runs for Ranisha Rajit, who has come with a lot of intent.
Yeah, so these runs keep adding on, and it will pile on to their total which they are targeting now.
Incredible counter-attack from UAE, and Captain Aisha would be wondering. The over number 5 should have been with another bowler, because that's what opened the floodgates. And now they are not able to control the flow of runs. Career best for Ranisha Rajit. Driven straight down the ground for a single.
Yes, Pranav, that 20-run over has changed, has swung the pendulum in favour of UAE batters.
11 overs done, 84 for the loss of 3 UAE. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Gertrude Chandiru comes in from the Oman tail end. They need a wicket here, especially that of Ranisha Rajit on her career best. Big shot, leading edge, keeper underneath it. The best fielder not able to hold on with the gloves in hand. Shrita, generally a very good fielder, but the keeper lets this one go.
So we saw Gertrude Chandiru. She's been bowling quite tight, and unfortunately this has been put down by the keeper. It's not easy, these eye catches, and yeah, it has gone down. So it's bad luck for Qatar.
Being a keeper, the best thing that I can tell you is that once you swirl, you're never able to take that. Happy and content to be rotating strike is Michelle. Freddie, what a partnership is this? Ranisha on one hand, all fire, looking to play very attacking. On the other hand, there is Michelle, who's happy and content with rotating strike. What do you think can be the strategy for Qatar to come back into this game?
Qatar has no option. They have to target and try and get one of these batters out as early as possible, because this partnership is going from strength to strength, and I think they might even cross 140 the way they're playing now.
Oring in line. We'll have to reload this one. Renita, with her career best of 27, she is standing at 37 right now, not out. Inside part of the bat, and it has gone onto the stumps, has it? or it hasn't. Lot of excitement for nothing.
This is what makes the game interesting. Lot of excitement for nothing. But that was a good shout there.
They really need to find a wicket. They were presented with one on the very first delivery of this over. Unfortunately, Shritha, the wicketkeeper, wasn't able to hold on to a very simple catch, and that's allowed Runita Rajat to stay in the middle. Fends this one and allows Chitru Chandiru to get out of the attack. 12 overs done, 89 for the loss of 3 UAE. Rohit Akhtar to continue from the Oman LNG end into her final over. Change of field for Qatar, getting a little bit of an extra protection on the offside. Almost makes me certain that it's going to be short and wide outside the off stump in this over. On the stumps, in the gap, should be a couple of runs. They're very quick between the wickets, and that's very comfortable for UAE at the moment.
Yeah, right now UAE is playing their shots and getting their runs quite easily. Rohit Akhtar has to do something in the final over.
And it's a great combination between Michelle and Ranita. Shot wide, cut well in the gap. Another opportunity to go for a couple of runs. They're very quick between wickets. Chandiru has a strong arm, but it doesn't matter. 31 years of age, Michelle. 19 years of age, Renita, and both together are putting a perfect example of youth and experience.
You pulled those words out of my mouth. Yes, youth and experience. And the drinks break, I think they seem to have sorted out their issues with running between the wickets. They seem to be calling their runs more confidently now.
A much better shot on this occasion. Once again, another couple. This is the third time they're running a 2. Almost out of breath, both of these players at the moment. This is the only way it looks as if they're going to pick up a wicket, is exhaustion leading to a wicket.
Could be. But as I just mentioned earlier, there was a lot of confusion between the running between the wickets between these two batters. But they seem to have sorted this issue out now, and they seem to be flowing smoothly now.
Renita Rajit has already got a career best, and she's piling on that. On the other hand, Michelle Botha with a career best of 36, so she's standing on 35. Both these players have got the best innings of their life at a time when it matters the most. Isha Oza dismissed early, and we see the best of Renita and Michelle.
So they say, cometh the time, cometh the man. And these two ladies have doing a wonderful job for UAE, building up this partnership and looking to pile on the scores.
Rescue Rangers. That's what makes this side so wonderful to watch. She equals her career best, 36, Michelle Botha, and she'll hold on to the strike as well. 13 overs gone, 2 short of 100 UAE for the loss of 3. Talk about youth. Lahiru Abesekara comes into the attack. The young left-arm spinner. And she's up against the very experienced Michelle Botha, standing on her career best. She's got 36 previously. She's once again at 36. And she will get her career best today here at the Oman Cricket Academy. Lot of records tumbling.
So this will give her a boost and confidence to open up now and play better.
Lehara Abesekara. Very good action, good loop, good flight. 100 for UAE. Oh, they're pushing for the second. Running between the wickets is spot on for UAE. Great fitness levels. This is brilliant running between the wicket by these two.
I think the drinks break has done a lot of wonders for them. They seem to be running much better now.
Great flight, great shot. Incredible strike rather. Ridita Rajit has got a maximum. It was a slog sweep and she got underneath it. The elevation, everything perfect about it.
Oh, that's a good strike. Good mighty strike for a huge 6.
Can't really get better than that. Moves on to 46. Eyeing her maiden 50 in this format. In any format, as a matter of fact, she's not even got a 50 in the women's ODI. So that's a great opportunity. Fended lets this one go. Huge potential. Lehara Abesekara, the young sensation, the young talent of Qatar. Back-to-back dot balls for Lehara.
Good comeback by Lehara, and she's looking to end this over with another dot hopefully.
Correction there, she's got Ranita Rajat has got 150 in her entire career, and that's in women's ODI. And this could very well be her maiden 50. She will get there, and she will get there in style. What a knock is this from Ranita Rajat, a counter-attack, a fiery counter-attack from Ranita Rajat, making sure that she dominated the proceedings once Isha Oza was back in the dugout.
Good shot. Goes on her knees and knocks it away. So, congratulations to her on her first T20I 50. Well played.
What an incredible knock from Ranita Rajat. 14 overs done. Nelson for the loss of 3, UAE. Trouble times for Qatar as 7 bowlers have been used. I really feel that unjust to Aisha, the captain. She's been underutilizing herself. I think she should have been bowling the 5th over and taking the lead from the front. At the moment, she's coming in to bowl the 15th over. That means that she's not going to be completing her quota. The kind of quality she possesses, the kind of experience that is there behind her back, I think she should have been leading from front. Oh, catching opportunity, gone down begging.
Unfortunate. It was an opportunity for her, but it's a missed opportunity. And I would like to say it's a very strong counter-attack and fight back by these two batters, by Rajita and Botha.
Big in swinger once again. She's a tidy bowler, and that's where I feel that as a captain, it's a responsibility, rather a duty to complete her quota. Very rarely does she leak runs. That 1 over that was bowled by Tafaul Al-Khair conceded 20 runs. That was the 5th over, and that's what allowed the floodgates to open. Full toss, driven through the covers. Oh, brilliant fielding. Excellent fielding. Fielding is something that makes Qatar stand out. We didn't mention in the tri-series they are one of the best fielding sides, and this is excellent work.
Oh, that was a brilliant stop, diving to her left and stopping the ball.
Over covers. No chance whatsoever for the fielder at cover on this occasion. Make sure she uses the aerial route, not giving any opportunity for the fielder at cover.
The runs are now flowing thick and fast.
Maria Teresa, the fielder at covers. Incredible striking, Ranita. Rajat. Brilliant timing. Certain kudos. Oh, Lihara. She's always there. This is what we are talking about. The fielding of Qatar. We already saw an excellent effort from Maria Teresa at covers. Now Lihara at backward point. 2 certain boundaries being saved.
Good effort by Liara to back up the earlier effort of Maria Teresa. Wonderful, diving to her right this time.
Kerest on the offside, and they will rotate the strike for a single. Oh, they're pushing for the second. This could be a run-out opportunity. Not really. They're very quick between the wickets. Ranita Rajat pushing Michelle Botha. Excellent stuff by UAE. 121 on the board for the loss of 3. We're at the 15 over mark, the final 5, and it's going to be change in voices.
15 overs gone. We had Freddie and Pranav Mehta, and now change in voices in the comm box is going to be me, Amin Wagle, and joining me in the comm box also is going to be senior statesman Jamil Zaidi very soon. And Lehara Abesekara has been that very, very crucial bowler on most occasions, but in that first over she went for 13, and now straight away Rajat has managed to score another boundary of her. So not an ideal match at the moment for Lehara Abesekara, who has otherwise been very, very economical and miserly.
Thank you, Amin. Yes, you were talking about the experience with Pranav Mehta. After losing 3 crucial wickets, it is the experience of Ranjit, Rajit and Michelle Botha. They brought the UAE back into the track of the brilliant partnership of almost 100 runs among themselves. Both of them has got one. Ranjit has got 61 and Michelle Botha is on 41. What a recovery phase they have done it for UAE, and that's where the experience count. We're talking about a lot on that.
Yes, absolutely. They are a very professional side, and especially when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And Renita Rajat, with all that flamboyance, she is certainly looking to score quickly. Just like that. This is another lofted one towards the leg side, scoring in multiples, and that has been the highlight of her innings. She's looking to score quickly, which is a huge, huge positive.
Well, yes, of course. This is what we were talking about. She was not having that much success in her career so far, playing so many matches. But this is the first match. She has got 50, first 50 of her T20I series. And what a time she has come back. Where team needed someone to stay on the wicket. And she is not only attacking, but really defending the title from the UAE as well.
Tossed it up. Full tosses are not going to be missed, as Renita Rajat now goes the maximum way. Umpire Rizwan Parkar will certainly not hesitate to raise his arms in support of that. So Renita Rajat gets a maximum to her name.
Full toss, dead beautifully over to the mid-wicket boundary for the maximum. And hereafter, I think Qatar loses the initiative they have taken in the first power play, getting 3 vital wickets of UAE. But now things are really giving a grip out of their hands now, with Ranjit playing some outstanding knock, this time cuts. And finally, it was through to the extra cover boundary for the single. What a magnificent knock she has played.
Yeah, she's missed this one. She's absolutely missed this one. All ends up Aisha Mohammed not unable to cope with the situation at the moment, because you're looking at Renita Rajat just tonk Lehara Abesekara for runs, and now a catch goes down begging, pops out of her hand. This one's placed well. However, a fielder will ensure that it's only going to be kept to 2. The running between the wickets has been impeccable as well. Converting those ones into twos, absolute fitness on display.
Yes, definitely, yes. This is what you're talking about it. That's the experience. They have played together so many years and they know each other well. And of course, the basic for the running is that the first run, always you have to take as quickly as you can. This time onto the back foot, played it out towards the square leg, uppishly. But I think the danger has been out from the hands of UAE. Now they looks to be in a bit comfortable position.
Yeah, some questions asked. They should be going towards the TV umpire to just confirm whether that run out has gone Qatar's way. It has turned out to be a very, very expensive over. As many as 18 runs have come. And if this run out goes UAE's way, it's going to be 20. And from the looks of it, Michelle Botha has grounded the bat just in time. The throw not coming into the hands of Krishita Sarvanakumar quick enough. So she survives and make that 20. Started the over with 13 of her first over, and now after second, she is on 33. So UAE after 16 are 141 for the loss of 3. Captain Isha Mohammed with the ball in hand. Full toss. Into the hands of the fielder. They were just good enough to probably not allow a run. That was hit very, very hard towards that fielder at square leg.
Today Aisha is not at her best. First over, get 10 runs, and now it was a full toss once again.
Oh, big shot. This one's downtown. As much as 6 runs. Full marks here for Renita Rajit for upping the ante and backing herself to score in multiples. What a great, powerful stroke that was.
This is beautifully played, coming down the wicket over the bowler's head. And there, look at how much control these two batters of UAE have got. Ranjit and Michelle Botha really attacking the bowlers at their will.
Once again, aiming at that foolish sort of a length. Plays it down all the way. So long off will only keep it down to a single. What has Renita Rajit done really well over here? What do you think is that key to success?
Well, I think only thing is that she has been calm and quiet in the initial stages. She was just going for the singles and doubles. And of course, an odd boundary comes to her way. But this time, she tried to speak over to the bowlers, and finally, Aisha got a success. A bit late, but of course, wicket has come.
Yeah, Michelle Botha departs. Isha Mohammed, as usual, keeping it very neat and tidy, targeting the stumps. And this time around, Michelle Botha, missing it all, ends up looking to replicate that shot of Renita Rajit going downtown. Late bit of inside swing, and all she can manage to do is hang her head down. But certainly, Michelle Botha has contributed and contributed really well, playing second fiddle to Renita Rajit. 4th wicket down as UAE are 148 for 4. Samaira Dharnidharka, and she's the new batter out in the centre. Michelle Botha was out there since a very long time and contributed in a very, very critical and crucial manner. Good delivery first up to her. Isha Mohammed getting some success.
With that score, I think UAE must be feeling a bit comfortable after the early jolts they have got from Qatari bowlers. 3 wickets in a span of just 4 overs and just 23 runs on the board. Later on, it was Ranjit, Rajit and Michelle who has done superb job, rebuilt the job, beautifully played to the mid-off and take the UAE out of trouble.
With that shot, there's also the 150 up and the end of the over. 17 gone, UAE are 150 for the loss of 4 wickets.
Chandiru so far bowled 3 overs, 16 runs. She normally used to get breakthrough of any good partnership. Let us see how she's going to do with this partnership which has been achieved. Down, tried to play it onto the on, took the top edge of the bat towards the third man and running between the wickets. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, we're talking There was a power break, and in between, 1 over has been bowled out. So we'll get back after the over.
.1, and at the moment Rinita Rajit is nearing a big occasion, and reaching a 3-figure mark in a T20I is always going to be interesting. At the moment, she'll just have to put her head down and concentrate on getting her process right. That has been going good all throughout. 94 of 49 deliveries, so the striking has been great. Since ball number 1, actually, it's not been a very cautious effort. She has actually looked to take apart the bowlers, score in multiples, looking to charge down to the pitch of the ball. But Aisha Mohammed looking to evade and stay away out of the range of Rinita.
What a knock from Rinjit, right? Beautifully playing her all the strokes in her kitty, and of course with no pressure on her. Right from the moment she arrived at the wicket, she is playing her game, and that's a good quality of a great batter. Onto the back foot this time, straight to the fielder. But once again misfield. In the early part of the game, Qatar fielders were excellent out, but after that, I think the toll has come on with the heat coming up. And of course, with the blistering knock played by Rinjita and of course Botha.
Well, now the spotlight is on Samaira Dharnidharka. Looks to play it along the carpet. Oh, this is a brilliant strike that was hit very hard towards long gone boundary.
What Dharnidharka has to do, that just give strike maximum to Rinjit, because she's almost completed her deserved century.
Once again, that long on area accessed. Will get a single, and at the moment she just wants to tick along for singles and give herself a good platform where she's just one hit away from that 3-figure mark. She's done well. She's carried her bat all throughout the innings, especially after the dismissal of the captain Isha Oza. Things were looking very meek for UAE. But answering everyone right now is Samaira Dharnidharka. It was the last ball of the penultimate over, and the onus was on her. It was a free hit for her in order to get a few runs for herself, and a boundary will be scored of Aisha Mohammed. 19 overs gone. Have a look at that once again.
With full force of the bat, cracks it through the mid-off. 4 runs, 19 overs been done. A very handsome total of 175 on the board for UAE. And I'm sure they must be very pleased after the couple of early wickets has been taken by Qatar. But the rebuilding has been done by Botha and Rinjit. And she is still just 4 runs away from a well-deserved century.
It's the final over, and the pick of the bowlers, Maria, has been now introduced into the attack, and with some responsibility to keep it to as minimum as possible.
Statings from her 96 run in just 51 deliveries And we were talking about MJ. She has been brought up a bit late, I believe. And she got the third wicket of her bowling.
Donna Udeni, and she is the new batter-in. At the moment, she's got 5 deliveries to negotiate from an on-song Maria. Maria Teresa has been absolutely brilliant for Qatar this morning. Looks to target the stumps once again. All Donna can do is just play it back to her.
Seems to be a free hit. But what a spell from MJ this morning. She got 2 wickets very early part of the game. And then again she was brought in the last over. Got the prize wicket of Ranjit. She's got 96 runs. Valuable wicket for her.
A rare moment. A lapse in concentration for Qatar as one of the fielders was found outside the circle. And hence a no ball been awarded. Plays it uppishly towards the cover region. It's going to be some sort of a chase for 2 fielders. It's going to be Christina who's going to manage to send that ball back to Maria John.
Well, this is the last over. Qatar has to try to give minimum runs in this over, though the scoreboard looks to be very healthy at the moment for UAE. Couple of deliveries.
This time in this innings, you can see that Captain Aisha Mohammed has asked for a review. It's for that caught behind decision being turned down, and rightly so, because Maria Teresa has certainly bowled her heart out in all the 3 or 4 overs that she's delivered. Have a look at that. No problems with that front foot. The delivery very much on point. She bowled some good pace. This one was dug out short. It does seem to be a very, very close call. Very close to the gloves. We'll need to have a little bit of a zoomed in view, and very soon we'll also see the nick sense being utilized.
Well, I think could have been a faint test of the touches through the gloves. That might be the reason why they have taken this DRS. Finally, first job been done in the first inning by the third umpire.
Yeah, this will give us a better view. The side-on view, as a matter of fact. Oh, that's misery. I think it's taken off the thigh pad. As it passes the bat and gloves, there could be a little bit of a disturbance in that graph. However, it's for the TV umpire and the officials to make or gather an input from that. Majority of that noise was probably now when it hits that thigh pad around the waist area. Yes, of course, now we have the signal. Rizwan Parkar signaling that nothing doing. She's not going to be getting wicket number 4, but Maria Teresa John has been absolutely superb in this innings.
Well, I think the right thing Khan has done, take the opportunity onto the back foot this time. Once again, nicely bowled. This girl bowled hard out today. Got 3 wickets and possibly the last legal delivery of her last over.
And it speaks volumes of the quality that you bring to the table. And Maria, the way Maria has been bowling over the last 1 week, we saw her in that triangular series. She has been the pick of the bowlers there. She's been the pick of the bowlers in this game as well. So probably speaks volumes as to the amount of hard work that you do. A true workhorse, not easy being a fast bowler. This one's dug out and it's going to be a boundary to end things here. Samaira Dharnidarka has a point to prove as well with the bat in hand. Couple of boundaries studded in that short innings of hers as UAE complete over number 20. They complete their innings after being electing to bat first. Have a look at that shot first.
Really full flow of the bat through the cover point boundary. The last ball gets 4 runs and 183. A very, very decent total on the board for UAE against Qatar. 20 overs being bowled. Dennis Tacher is what looks that maybe Qatar today has got some hand on UAE, getting 3 wickets early part of that. Going for the batting order, it was early stages for Isha Oza got out on 9, Tarita 0. And Viran Sabin 3, and it was only Renita Rajit and Michelle Botha who has brought the score into a very, very commanding position. Renita scored 96, unfortunate not to got his 100, and it was Botha. She also played well, 45 of just 42 runs, and in the end, Iswadhamar Dharandika and Kurup who has got the last over being bowled.
As far as the bowling is concerned, the early damage was done by Amna Kashif in the very first over, and that's all the success that she got. I wonder why she couldn't complete her quota of 4 overs. Maria Theresa John, she stands out. 3 wickets for 25 in her allotted 4 overs. A wicket for Aisha Mohammed towards the dying stages of the innings as well. But the rest of the bowlers went for plenty, and especially Tafaul Al-Khair, 1 over for 20 runs, and that was probably the deciding factor where UAE managed to lock in the momentum in their favour. 15 extras accumulated in the process, and UAE have finished this innings on 183 for 5. Here's how things panned out, winning the toss and electing to bat first, and it was not a great sight for Captain Isha Oza as she saw Tirtha Satish departed very, very early on the first ball, in fact, that she faced of Amna Kashif. Left-hander was also castled by Maria Theresa John. That was a great guiding missile-like delivery, disturbing the stumps. Isha Oza hit a boundary down the ground. It was one of the toughest shots to hit. That on drive got a few more runs to her. Joining her in the middle, of course, was Renita Rajit, but then Isha Oza departed for only 9, and that is when Qatar sniffed that there could be something in it for them. This innings could be something that could be made out or carved out, but then Renita Rajit and, of course, Botha, they certainly stitched a beautiful partnership together. Botha playing that sedate innings, however, on frequent occasions, dealing in boundaries, especially towards the deep mid-wicket region. She certainly looked to place the ball very well. Much of the power hitting was done by the likes of Renita Rajit. There were shots all over the ground, thick edges, intentional ones, that too. Some towering sixes towards the onside. Abhay Sekara got a few runs taken off her as well, going down on one knee and sweeping towards the square leg boundary. Aisha Mohammed was tonked over covers. Abhay Sekara then in her second over went for plenty, as many as 20 runs if I'm not mistaken. And one of those shots comprised this big towering 6. A full toss, and Renita Rajit, with the form that she was striking out there, was certainly something that not going to be missed out by her. Down the ground is where Renita Rajat looked to strike most often. 41 by Botha, and certainly she played a handy role before being dismissed by Aisha Mohammed. Renita Rajat continued. Chandiru, who is normally a partnership breaker, could not manage to stunt the flow of runs that UAE were looking to pile on. Finally, Maria Teresa, the pick of the bowlers, picking up a third wicket, and she is making it a habit to pick important big wickets. This one was not her fourth wicket. It was certainly a good review to be taken. And the last ball by Samaira Dharnyadarka also dispatched to the boundary. So we've got a task at hand, especially the Qatari batters. Whether or not they'll manage to get there in the nick of time, only time will tell. Before that, we shall head for a short mid-innings break. Do stay tuned.
Welcome back at the Oman Cricket Academy ground, Muscat, for the match number 4 being played between UAE and Qatar. UAE posted a very handsome total of 183, and now it's chase for Qatar. Match number 4 of Oman GCC Women T20I tournament being played at this beautiful Oman Cricket Academy venue. We'll have to see how Qatar batters have to cope with the bowling of UAE, though a handsome total on the board. And it is their spearhead bowler. First delivery into the stumps. Rightly so. Dharandi Darka, she is the fast bowler from UAE. Lot of pace she has got. Joining me first time in this session is Freddie, our friend joining us in the combox. Freddie, welcome.
Thank you, Jamil Bhai. My pleasure to be with you.
Dharani Darka, she has got lot of pace. Onto the back foot this time, trying to play it out, beats her completely outside the off stump.
Coming back to the UAE inning, Jamil Bhai, a good fight back by UAE from being 3 down in the power play to post a total of 183, a very, very good score.
The Rinjita and Bota has really resurrected the innings of UAE from 23 for 3, and they took it to 183. Absolute brilliant performance. This time, once again, lovely bowling with sheer pace, beating the batter outside the off stump.
Dhamida Khara bowling straight, wicket to wicket, giving away nothing. She also seems to be generating some pace, and as already mentioned, she's the spearhead bowler for UAE.
Tremendous pace she has got. Yesterday she has came through and took a couple of wickets of Oman. Have to rush back to the wicket. Very lucky. Reached in time. Some confusion between the batters to run. And finally she survived.
That was really lucky. There seemed to be some confusion between the batters. The striker calling for a... Yeah, that was very, very close indeed. I wonder why the umpire has not gone for a review.
Yes, absolutely, spot on. But I think sometimes when umpires are very much sure, you yourself being an umpire. But now the technology has really come to help. This time once again, bank on target by Dharani Darka.
That was a close call. Yes, as umpires, sometimes we do it in real time. So some close decisions might go either way.
Well, I believe that this technology, I don't know how I say that, it is actually, confused the umpires after this delivery once again. And it was just the first run for Qatar, and it's one for no wicket at the end of over number 1.
That was a wide, so 2 runs wide and a bye, so 2 runs to Qatar.
Very, very good over from Dharani Darka. She's spared a UAE attack. Blistering pace she has got. This time, once again, playing and missing. End of over number 1. It is 2 for no wicket, Qatar.
End of a very good over from Dhamandi Khara. She was spot on, except for that one delivery where she bowled wide down the leg side. Otherwise, a very good over.
Ananda Kumar was the second bowler, bowling from the Oman LNG end. Into Ananda Kumar, with all the experience this UAE team has got, into the stumps.
That delivery coming into the stumps by Induja Nandakumar. The UAE bowlers seem to be spot on.
When do you have a stiff target ahead, a huge target ahead, things goes back on your minds, how to go for the runs, that's the requirement is that. Once again, open the face of the bat. So lot of pressure on the batters to reach that memo total of 183, and that is the problem that they have been bogged down sometimes. Two things in mind, go for the runs or I stop playing those shots.
Yeah, it's always important that the openers get on to a good start and not lose too many wickets in the power play. So sometimes it can lead to a lot of pressure for the batters.
This time played it out to short mid on for the single. First one came off the bat, rather the second one.
Also the UAE bowlers, they're not giving away anything. They're bowling wicket to wicket, keeping it tight.
Shahreen Nawab. Sarvana is on the other hand. She is a good batter for Qatar, but again she is not among the runs. That's the thing, and this is the time for her to prove and get some runs for her and for Qatar herself. Just tapped and run. That's the nice way. Keep singles taking, keep the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, so she's off the mark now, and she'll be looking to build on and get a good opening partnership with a partner.
We have seen some outstanding batting from Ranjit and Botha this morning. Take the UAE out of the trouble. Beautifully played to the open face of the bat. And it's going to be towards the first boundary. Beautifully played. Bisecting the fielders at the cover, extra cover. And it's Sarvana Kumar who got that boundary.
Good way to start off with a boundary. Played beautifully between the two fielders there, and that's 4 runs. Coming back to you, Jamil, by the partnership between Botha and in the first innings, a very good counter-attack and fight back by them to post that mammoth 183 on board.
Definitely. Once again, tried to flick it off the toes, but couldn't make it at all.
Just a half-hearted appeal by the bowler, and nothing much on that.
That was the previous shot which has been played through the extra cover boundary for 4. So that's the end of over number 2. It is 8 for no wicket for Qatar. Dharna Terika, once again with her pace, very difficult for her to play because with sheer pace, moving the ball here and there, left and out, that is a good quality of her.
Yeah, as we can see, she's not giving away anything. She's keeping it tight, wicket to wicket. No place, no chance for the batter to free her arms and swing it.
Down the leg side, it's a wide. This time, once again, beautifully bowled, beating the batter outside the office stump, swinging away from the batter.
Yeah, that was a swing and a miss. Qatar will have to quickly think something out of the box. They are into the third over of the power play and just 9 runs on the board.
They do have some batting problems, Qatar. Once again, into the stumps. Except for the captain Aisha Khan, who is doing bulk of the runs for Qatar. Apart from that, 1 or 2 more batters are there. But seems that they cannot take the things, towards a good total for themselves and for the team. Once again, a wide outside the office stump this time, trying to generate some pace.
Dot balls and singles are not going to help Qatar. They need to get going.
Once again, pushed it towards the square leg boundary, and it's going to be 4. That's what we're talking about. Qatar must be needing at least a boundary in each over. This time it was shot onto the onside. Nicely played between square leg and mid wicket for 4.
That was a good crack. So they need to keep looking at getting a boundary per over, or in fact more than that, because the target which they're facing is a stiff target, 184 to win.
It was very nicely placed. Wow, what a brilliant catch from the wicket-keeper. I was talking about, she is moving the ball outside the office stump, and it was a good delivery, taking the edge of the bat to the wicket-keeper. A good catch. The first wicket down for Qatar.
Wonderful catch. The wicket-keeper moving, diving to her left and picking up the ball. Here we can see the bowler bowls it, outside edge, the keeper diving to her left and pulling off a brilliant catch.
First breakthrough for UAE, 14 for 1, Qatar.
New batter in for Qatar is Shrutiben Rana, right-handed batter.
She is among the runs for Qatar, but not too many runs. But today I think time has come for her to show that she can be a good, what you call, batter for Qatar, taking the score to as much as she can. Onto the back foot, played it out by Dharnadikara. And end of over number 3, it is 14 for 1 Qatar.
End of another good over, just the boundary and 2 wides and a wicket.
Nanda Kumar to continue. Once again, it's a beautiful delivery into the block hole, caught right in front of the wicket. So wicket number 2 for UAE.
So that was direct wicket straight on, and the batter had no clue to that, and umpire had no hesitation in lifting a finger. So Qatar lose their second wicket, 14 for 2.
Caught right plumb in front of the wicket. No hesitation for umpire to give her out. So wicket number 2 for UAE, 14 for 2 Qatar. In comes the captain, Aisha Khan, scoring bulk of the runs for Qatar in the last couple of matches, the Tri-Nation Series, and of course yesterday also, but she couldn't come up with some good runs yesterday. But she is a very good batter.
She has to come up with a captain's knock to see if Qatar can pull this off.
Nicely played out, back to the bowler. There is a vast difference between the team who is playing all through the years like UAE and the teams like Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain. They're not that much cricket playing all through the years, as the UAE has got that advantage.
Yeah, the opportunities for players in UAE are much more compared to the other GCC countries. And that we can see on the field, the quality, we can see the difference, huge difference.
Meanwhile, Aisha got off to single. Shubhti Rana is on the other hand. This tournament definitely will be helping the teams who are not that much cricket playing all through to get some practice playing against strong teams.
Definitely, these type of tournaments will give the much needed exposure to the other countries, which will go a long way in helping them to develop their game.
All credit goes to the boards of these GCC countries who are really trying to give maximum support to their players to get through the matches, and it's a very good sign. They like to promote. Down the leg side, missed by the wicket-keeper as well. So 4 runs to the total.
4 leg byes signaled by the umpire. That adds to the total of Qatar, 19 for 2.
Drifting downside, down the leg side. Look at that one. It was too far. Very difficult for the wicketkeeper to catch. And it goes to the fine leg boundary for four extras. So Nanda Kumar has got a wicket. Once again, into the stumps, takes it on the pad, but this time umpire was unmoved. So end of over number 4, 19 for 2 Qatar. Dharni Dhalka will continue to bowl. Nicely played back by Aisha Khan.
So wicket apiece for Dharminder Khara and Hinduja. Qatar 19 for 2. As we can see, the bowlers are not giving away anything. No freebies given, wicket to wicket.
Well, something has to be done by the Qatari batters to get the runs. This time, open the face of the bat by Aisha Khan. She is the one who can exploit some runs into the air and through the gaps. But again, it's a very stiff target ahead.
Yeah, the target is Mammoth 184. And we are already into the 5th over of power play, which has yielded only 20 runs.
Played out. And once again, there was a mix-up between Aisha and the Shrupti Rana. Results in the run out of Shrupti. And needless run. Ball was in the hand of the fielder and she was a bit late. So finally wicket number 3 back to the deck out for Qatar.
Yeah, so that's a direct hit from the fielder. Straight onto the stumps. And the batter nowhere in the frame. So Qatar lose their 3rd wicket.
Similar situation as the UAE were facing in the first when they were batting. 3 wicket downs in the span of 4 overs and almost incidentally same situation. It is 20 for 3 Qatar and over number 5 is in progress. A needless run out. And now came Chandiru. She has a very, very good batter, scored a lot of runs against Oman, but after that she is not among the runs, but today she might come up with some good runs. And outside the off-stump wide for Dhanadika.
Probably these two batters will have to take a leaf out of Botha and Rajita's knock in the first innings and make a counter attack if they have to reach this target.
Hope so. Something will come up from Chandiru and Aisha. Once again, going into the wickets. He's stuck on the pad, right in front. And umpire has no hesitation in giving her LBW. They have taken the DRS, and rightly so.
Yeah, the batter feels maybe the ball was leaving, going down the leg. So let's see what DRS has for us.
He's bringing in swingers to the right-handers, Freddie. And that's the reason why the batter has to shuffle across. And that is the area where normally the ball hits on the pad right in front of the wicket, giving umpires chance to get them out.
The umpire had a good close look before raising his finger. So this could be a close call. So let's see what DRS has for us.
Awaiting from DRS third umpire's visuals on the screen. Might be some technical issue that we couldn't, so now I think it's to be clear. You can see right arm over. Nice. There's no issues for the no balls. This has come into the batter and hit on the left back of the batter. Seems to be very, very close. Only thing is that they might think of an edge of the bat. So that has to be checked by Nixon's.
There seems to be a slight gap between bat and pad. It looks like going to hit the wickets. Let's see what the snicker says.
I think that's the only area where she can be survived. Otherwise, things to be difficult.
There's no graph on the snicker. It seems there seems to be no edge there. Ball tracking, pitching outside off, on line, and hitting wickets. So the umpire was spot on, and Qatar have lost their fourth wicket.
So once again, beautiful delivery from Dhana Derka. Got the second wicket, and Qatar lost the fourth wicket. 21 for 4. Well, now Qatar is absolutely in trouble at the moment. 4 wicket back to the dugout. Just 21 on the board. And it's the Aisha Khan who has now in the ground on the wicket to take the Qatar out of trouble. So another wicket. It's totally, absolutely blistering bowling from the Nadika. Got another wicket this time. And it was once again referred to the DRS, the third umpire has to work out something.
Once again, the batter asking for a review. Umpire had no hesitation in lifting his finger. Now we are to await the decision from the DRS.
Could have been slightly hit on the last part of the pad rather.
Quite close, and probably height could save her, but we still need to wait and watch.
Umpire has to have a close look. Third umpire still waiting. Third umpire signal.
Nothing on Nixon's.
They had to assure, doubly checked before giving their decision. I'm thinking that either the ball hit bat first or bat first. Well, I think it's a big difference between bat and ball. Still waiting for the third umpire's decision. The moment the ball hits the pad, umpire quickly raises his finger.
Third umpire is taking his time. It's pitching in line, wickets missing. So the decision has to be overturned. The batter survives.
So a good DRS call for Qatar, successful. Struggling to get runs from some beautiful attack from Dhana Dirka from one end and Kumar on the other end. Down the leg side once again, very it out, misses. End of over number 5. It is 21 for 4. Qatar chasing 184. Posted by UAE. Change in the combox vices.
Nandakumar sliding down the leg, very effective, very accurate. The wicketkeeper of UAE, probably one of the most elegant wicketkeepers, Tirtha Satish, joining me in the combox for the set of next 5 overs. Amin Wagle. Amin, what a performance from UAE. Certainly a champion perform.
Yeah, very good afternoon. And we're just at the stroke of noon. UAE have certainly shown and stamped their class of authority on this game. They were in a similar sort of a situation, losing 3 wickets early on within that 5-over period, and losing some key wickets in the form of Isha Oza, Tirtha Satish. But then what transpired after that, Renita as well as Botha, they stitched that wonderful partnership together and made sure that they got UAE to an imposing total. And a courtesy of that imposing total, because they have that runs on board, you see Qatar now in a similar sort of a situation. And the pressure on the 2 batters out there in the middle, looking to take onus on them. That pressure on them is really high to kind of replicate what UAE did in terms of batting.
And what was impressive is their performance in the first innings. Wonderful in-swing, missing the line as Aisha at the moment, struggling a little bit with the quality of attack from UAE. They were in all sorts of trouble. Yes, they were dominating yesterday against Oman, the opening partnership, yes. But today, on a day when they were struggling, 3 down for hardly 20 odd, that partnership by 2 batters who brought their best game ever here at the Oman Cricket Academy, that was impressive.
Yes, and when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and that is probably testament to the way the 2 batters they've played out for UAE, carrying the bat all throughout the innings. In fact, Renita was denied of a well-deserved 3-figure mark, and courtesy a very good delivery from the pick of the bowlers of Qatar. So there wasn't much that was troubling her all throughout the innings. Looking for that big shot, and I think this is a soft dismissal. Oh yes, it's just not going Qatar's way. They've lost Aisha. It's a soft dismissal. She's played it onto her stumps. It's going to be a long walk to the dugout for her.
Heaving across the line, and once you met, Hinduja is never going to be missing it. And what that means is that the mainstay of Qatar, the prime wicket, the prime candidate, Aisha, is going to be walking back to the dugout. And that means that Qatar are in a bit of bother, in a bit of misery here. 5 wickets down for 22. And this is some serious trouble for Qatar. .96 for Renita, that's a career best. A player who did not get a 50 earlier in the T20Is found a way to get to 96. Again, swinger once again, inside part of the bat, and it's only going to be a dot ball. And then when you're talking about Michelle Botha, she got to 45 as well. So impressive knocks from two players. 6 overs done, end of power play, 22 for the loss of 5, Qatar.
Let's have a look at how the power play transpired for Qatar. Not going to be in a happy note though. It started off with a decent boundary on the offside. The left-hander also got another boundary on the offside. But then the wicket started tumbling. This was a beauty of a delivery from Samaira Dharnidarka, getting rid of the left-hander. And then the other bowler also managing some success. Samaira Dharnidarka trapped Jaytrude Chandiru. And then Aisha Mohammed was castled. So pretty much sums it all. 5 wickets down for Qatar, and they've only managed 22 runs. They still have a long way to go. Umpire Rizwan Parkar signalling the end of power play. However, we don't see a change in bowling. It's going to be Samaira Dharnidarka, and she'll be looking to complete her quota. And rightly so. She's gone for only 10 and asking the right kind of questions to the batters out there in the middle. With the kind of express pace she has and the situation that they find themselves at, I think that's the right option.
At the moment, it is all so easy for Samaira Dharnidarka, picking up yet another wicket. She's spot on this afternoon, and she's making things happen for UAE.
This time around, it's Christina Jacob who has to walk back. She is normally a very, very handy bat, but now a little too good to be facing that express pace and that sharp swing coming into the right-hander of Samaira. Have a look at that. Wonderful visuals. Played it, all ends up.
No chance whatsoever. The quality of Samaira Dharnidarka, certainly one of the quickest bowlers in the circuit. Very good action. And that's where Qatar at the moment don't really have an answer. But look at the field set. If you look at the field set, most teams would have 7 or 8 fielders inside the circle. Not UAE. Exactly in the playing conditions. 5 fielders inside the circle. And that's where Samaira has been asked to operate with.
Oh, once again, it's just like a guided missile, the way she is targeting the stumps. And have a look at that. They are at the moment just circling around those batters, not giving them any room to manage a few extra runs, get to the other end. Tafaul Al-Khair on this occasion just managed to get a leg by and get to the other end. Now, Maria Jacob, can she just hang in there? Can she drop sheet anchor and hold one end?
One thing is for sure, that Aisha would have learnt a lesson the hardest way possible. Tafaul Khair was given the ball in the 5th over. That is where the tide changed. And it changed against Qatar. I'm sure that the very next time Qatar is in similar situation, she will look to go towards experience, and she'll look to dominate the proceedings.
Absolutely, and it was essential that they could have opted for Abesekara to come in at that particular time because of the two new batters out there at the crease. With that big wicket of Isha Oza falling, they would have wanted a little attacking options. They would have wanted a more precise option than Tafaul Al-Khair. Not to forget, Tafaul Al-Khair actually started off with a beauty of a delivery to the right-hander, nearly missing that leg stump, that ball coming in sharply. However, it was all corrected, and Renita after that just took the game away from Qatar.
Maybe they could have even stuck to Amna continuing to bowl from that end, or maybe it could have been this young fast bowler that could have continued into that fifth over.
Just looks to play it out, not able to rotate strike. It's not only that, they had Shruti Bain Patel as an option. Amna Kashif had 2 overs left in the tank at the end of the innings. So a successful bowler also not being given a chance. But then it's that sort of a day for Qatar where they had all that excitement due to the early success. And then finally, UAE managing to pull things through. 23 for 6 after 7 as Samaira Dharni-Darka has managed another wicket maiden.
Induja Nandakumar loves to bowl those effective in-swingers, and that's where she's been very effective as well in this entire game so far. 2 wickets for herself. She's just conceded 8 runs. She's into her 4th over.
Yeah, and this is a good option here for UAE. Now, you give your strike bowlers maximum opportunity to make an impact. This game does not seem to be that kind of a game which can, tag along for the entire 20 overs, especially with the situation that Qatar is in. So you might as well give maximum opportunity for your strike bowlers to get results in favor of themselves, get a few numbers added to their repertoire.
And this is a prime example. Isha Oza using both her quick options with a long spell. Oh, what a delivery. What a gem of a delivery. Beats the inside edge, and what that means is that the stump is going to be castled. No chance whatsoever for Tafaul. Incredible delivery from Induja Nandakumar, picking up her 3rd wicket.
Hunting in pairs, Induja and Samaira Dharni-Darka. Have a look at that. Sharp ball coming in very, very late into the right-hander, proving too good for Tafaul Al-Khair. Was not able to negotiate the class of Induja Nandakumar. It's another wicket. It's going to be a long walk for Tafaul Al-Khair back. Qatar are on 23 for the loss of 7.
"23 for 7. In comes the young Lehara Abesekara. And she's up against the steaming Induja Nandakumar. Three wickets apiece for both the opening bowlers. Once again, the big in-swinger. Certainly a very special spell for both these opening bowlers.
Yeah, rightly so. And they're going through a good spell of 4 overs and getting their body warmed up for the rest of the tournament. And that's what you want your strike bowlers to do, because from the looks of it, the way UAE is putting out powerful performances in that last game as well as this game, just seems that they might end up in the right side of things as far as the tournament results are concerned. In order to do that, you would be expecting to play a knockout match, and that knockout match, you want your strike bowlers to be in prime condition, in prime form. And that's how you pin down opponents clinically and professionally.
Sometimes in a tournament like this, you want a difficult match. They've got a difficult match in this one. In the air, in the gap, they are not going to be taking that single. A game where they were tested and they bounced back, almost in a winning situation at the moment. 8 overs done, 23 for the loss of 7. It's a maiden wicket for Induja Anantkumar to wind her spell up of 3 for 8 in a 4 overs. Imagine how effective the UAE bowlers would have been if they would have bowled first, with a little bit of moisture available on the wicket in the first hour. Isha Gokhale comes into the attack from the Oman tail end.
Starts off with a wide. She'll want to adjust her radar very, very quickly. And Isha Gokhale will be looking to guide this one towards the stumps, and that's why the earlier two bowlers have managed to get maximum success. Gets a little bit of bat onto it, Maria Jacob. Against the backdrop of some arriving teams now. The next game, it's going to be Oman taking on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And that's going to be an exciting contest as well. The home team looking for their first win were not in the right side of things last afternoon, and they'll want to make a statement win as soon as possible. Yes and no in the middle of the pitch. However, eventually everything turns out to be all right for the two batters.
And not just a win, they would want to win in a stunning fashion. Help their net run rate, which has been distraught and devastated by UAE.
And as I mentioned at the toss as well, it was a professional victory for UAE. Oman by no means a small side, but the way they just went about their business, the UAE team, things quickly got out of hand for Oman. There was too much damage done too early. Not to forget, batting first when you post up a huge total, that's a different story altogether. But when Oman batted first, they were just rocked very, very quickly due to some early wickets, and then they could not manage to do any bit of damage control.
Certainly one of those professional approaches from UAE, and Oman just did not have the answer on that particular day. But let's not forget, Oman and Kuwait dancing down the wicket. Tirtha Satish not able to replicate the class that she possesses, not able to hold on to that certain stumping chance, gone down begging.
looking to take a riskier option that missed the stumps first up, and then of course was a bit too low to grab for Tita Satish. The ball just skidding on. At the moment flirting with danger is Maria Jacob. Probably a little bored maybe. Looking for some excitement, some fireworks in order. 9 overs gone. Qatar are on 24 for the loss of 7.
Vaishnavi Mahesh comes into the attack. She impressed one and all with her leg spin. She was emphatic yesterday. It does get a little bit of good turn and bounce.
Yeah, now I'm excited to see the way Vaishnavi Mahesh approaches, her stint out there in the middle. There's just 3 wickets remaining, and she's not the usual bowler that the rest of the teams are used to as an opponent. Now she gets genuine turn. She has a very genuine sort of a action, a wrist spinner, and has variations on offer as well. So with the help of the wicket, that extra bit of bounce and turn available on offer, she can prove quite a handful. Does she hunt for wickets, or does she just wait for the batsman or the batter to err?
Errs in line on this occasion. I really feel that the ball she bowled to Priyanka Mendonca, the flipper, that was probably a gem of a delivery. Beating both the bat and pad and finding that smallest of gaps which was there. Not able to rotate strike at the moment is Qatar.
Vaishnavi Mahesh, and what's so exciting about watching her bowl is the areas on which she operates. She's testing the batter with variations, testing it at different areas. No two deliveries are same. This one's once again another flipper. Just managing to negotiate that towards the leg side. Looked for the run and gets it as well.
And I really like the accuracy with which she bowls. Hasn't seen her bowling any half trackers, which is generally the case with a lot of leg spinners.
Yeah, and that is why she's been so impressive. Control over the ball is superb, and so is the skill level that she possesses. An exciting talent to watch out for, Vaishnavi. Beats the wood, ends the over in a quiet manner. She's given away 3 in her first, 27 for 7 at the halfway stage as Qatar are hanging in there.
10 overs, 27 for the loss of 7. If you're watching the visuals around the world, yes, it's a reality. Qatar in a lot of trouble against UAE, chasing 183 outside part of the bat, and it will be scampered around for a single. Joining me in the comm box, the man you generally see in the middle, raising the finger to the batters, Freddie Lonapan. Freddie, how's it to have a different visual of this wonderful game?
Oh, this is something amazing. I've never been in a comm box earlier, though I've been most of the time in the middle of the pitch. But this is definitely a different feeling and a totally different experience, which I'm enjoying.
How's the perspective? You have obviously seen the game from the closest visuals once you're in the middle. Once you are probably, I think, around 70, 80 meters away from the wicket, from a bird's eye view, how different is it?
Honestly speaking, this is giving a better view for me.
we are the VVIPs. Gokhale continuing, and she's just been fantastic.
It feels, watching from here, it feels you have so much more time to see and gauge the ball and the movements.
The game looks simpler, isn't it?
Definitely looks much simpler from here, but the view is fantastic.
See as Swarup Gokhale outside part of the bat, the ball does travel to third, and they will take another single. So runs are coming, but they're just coming very slowly for the liking of Qatar. The required run rate has gone in excess of 16, and that's where I think Qatar is just completely out of this competition at the moment. Freddie, what a performance from UAE, especially when they were 3 down, and then to fight back, get to 180 plus. Were you even expecting it? Oh, they're going to be running. I don't think there was any intent to play the shot, and that's where
I would say Qatar have been completely outplayed to this point of time. Excellent.
Declared as a dead ball, so no runs whatsoever for Qatar. Not looking to play a shot was Maria Teresa Jacob, and that's where you have to have the intent, and that's where there is no runs for Qatar on this occasion, despite them running for a couple of runs.
Coming back to the UAE inning, it was a wonderful counter-attack by Botha and Rajitha. I think both of them have gone on to score their individual best scores in T20I format.
Career best T20Is.
End of the over. End of over number 11, 29 for 7. Qatar reeling at 29 for 7. I don't know what Qatar can do further from here. They don't have much to do except that probably play out the overs and show that they can play the complete quota of 20 overs.
Certainly. They would just be looking at net run rate at the moment, and they would be looking to reduce that margin of defeat to start off with. That's the first step. In the process, if they can put up a contention, which looks highly unlikely at the moment, looking at the scoreboard, 155 required in 9 overs. Impossible is just an understatement. That's how difficult that task is.
Oh, it's a huge mountain to climb at this stage.
Funny things have happened in this game of cricket. Katie Thompson coming into the attack from the Oman LNG end.
Yeah, it's never over until it's over. But looking at the quality of the batters and the quality of the UAE bowlers and fielders, I think this is we can conclude that the match is done and dusted for Qatar.
Oh, certainly. They've had a professional approach, because I was of the clear intention, clear understanding that Isha Oza is their best player and they're carrying into this tournament on her back. Today, when Tirtha Satish departed early, then also the left-handed batter, not able to get her name, but she departed early as well. I'm not sure. I think it was Induja Nandakumar. And then, obviously, that big wicket of Isha Oza. From there to come back. Oh, I'm still in that moment of awe where Renita and Michelle, what an innings was that? What a partnership.
Yeah, these two batters, Michelle and Renita, they showed wonderful character and built up their inning and then opened up to score some very good runs and come up with their best performance individually.
Flighted, looking to heave it across the line. Katie Thompson, not interested. It's only going to be a dot ball. So just one run from that over of Katie Thompson. 30 for the loss of 7, Qatar at the end of 12. Michelle Botha will have an opportunity to wrap this innings up of Qatar. Just to give you the context, UAE were 23 for 3 when Isha Oza got out. And that is where both these batters, Renita Rajat, 96 of 52, 3 sixes and 13 boundaries. And Michelle Botha, 45 with just 3 boundaries. Her running between the wickets was splendid. They together put on a 125 run partnership. Both got their career bests. So if you have joined us late, you have missed a class act in certain.
Initially, Michelle and Renita were finding it difficult. They had some problems, issues with their running between the wickets. And there were a couple of opportunities for Qatar to get them run out. But then after the drinks break, their understanding was very good. And then we saw the end result for both of them.
And that is why so much of credit to Ahmed Raza to even pick up Renita. We saw her stats online, an average of somewhere around 8 or 9. On most occasions, she might not have been picked. But a strike rate of 100, that's where I got the clue that what Ahmed Raza has looked at is quality and not numbers. And that's where she's paid back in her faith. Performance as a return to the faith shown in her. Catching opportunity. One of the easiest for Gokhale, who's bowling from the other end. And what that means is that Michelle is going to have an even better day. 45 runs with the bat and now a wicket to her name as well.
Yeah, it's probably one of those days where you can do nothing wrong. And Michelle seems to be basking in that.
What a performance from UAE. Certainly a champion performance. This is going to be bringing them a lot of confidence. 8th wicket goes down for Qatar. They're reeling down in a disbelief. 30 for the loss of 8. Final delivery. Plays it watchfully. What that means is that Michelle Botha, 45 runs with the bat, is going to be finishing with a wicket maiden to start off with. 13 overs gone. 30 for the loss of 8, Qatar, and in a very, very difficult situation.
I
An opportunity for the captain as well. Isha Oza, one of the most experienced players for UAE. She's leading these bunch of tigers who are hungry for the trophy. They've come with the champion's attitude. They're performing like a champion. And don't think that there will be an even better reason for Isha to be smiling at.
we can see there's a huge difference in the quality of the teams playing here. UAE is far, far ahead of the other teams.
And the reason for that, Freddie, is that silly point or a catching point in position, not able to hold on to that one. This is incredible stuff. Coming back to my point, the reason for that is that when I was a young kid in the under 13 category, my coaches, late Mr. Vasu Pranjpe, would suggest you have to play with the under 17 and under 19 kids if you want to excel and improve and dominate in your own category. He would never allow me. It's not just him, but all my other coaches, Mr. Mohammad Asim, all of them. And even later when I was coached by Mr. Roger Binney, all of them said the same thing. You should never, as an upcoming cricketer, play in your own category. You perform in your category, but you practice in the category which is way ahead of you. So if you're in under 13, try to get to under 16 and under 19. That's where you practice. Quick single. I really feel this is going to be going upstairs. The dive has been put in. But I think that Maria Teresa is in a little bit of a trouble here.
Yeah, they've gone in for the review at the striker's end.
Oh, this can be mighty interesting. Bouncing bat is a rule that has come into picture, and that's where I think she's done extremely well to put in that full stretch dive. Look at that. Straight as an arrow. Done really well, Maria Teresa. Big shot straight down the ground. Fielder underneath it. A little bit of a juggle. Very good with her bowling. Samayara Dharnidarka, not so with her fielding. Let's this one go. And Isha does give her a stare that this is not acceptable.
Yeah, opportunity put down there. It was a simple catch, but unfortunately she's put it down.
Living dangerously, Maria Teresa. Isha Oza had an opportunity to pick up a wicket in her very first over. It was flighted and just outside the off stump. Maria Teresa threw the kitchen sink at it. Just couldn't get the middle of the bat, and the easiest of catches for Samayra Dharnidarka just misses out on that opportunity. 14 overs done, 33 for the loss of 8. CS Swarup Gokhale comes into the attack. Good high arm action. Deflects off the pads. This time I think it's going to be 4-leg buys. So runs finally starting to flow for Qatar.
Runs are flowing, but they have a long way to go. Plenty to catch up with a few overs left. Just about 6 overs left, and they need still about 100 and odd runs to win.
True, 147 runs to win, but I don't think they're looking at that number. I think what they'll be looking at is to get somewhere close to 47 runs in these remaining 6 overs and reduce the margin of defeat, because net run rate is going to come into the equation. Oman have been beaten by a big margin by UAE. Qatar looks like is going to be beaten by a big margin. So one thing is almost clear, that UAE is one of the most dominant sides, and that's where Qatar will be hoping that the other remaining sides, that's Saudi, Kuwait and Bahrain, all three are also beaten in a big margin, and then it comes down to a game of net run rate.
Yes, Qatar, I think their strategy now would be to play out these overs without getting all out and get as many runs as possible.
Right in the block hole, Sia Swarup. She's celebrating the wicket, she's celebrating the catch, and so is Maria Teresa walking back to the dugout. That means it's cotton bowled for Sia Swarup Gokhale, who picks up a first wicket.
Yeah, that was a simple cotton bowled opportunity for her. And Qatar diving deeper into trouble. They lose their 9th wicket.
Hence it is just mere formalities. Overpitched, and the simplest of catches for Sia Swarup Gokhale, who has been a decent fielder. She did take a catch at covers just an over or two ago. On this occasion takes a good cotton bowled to send Maria Teresa back to the dugout. Final wicket in terms of Amna Kashif. It's mere formalities for UAE that needs to be concluded.
So in the backdrop, we can see the Saudi girls sitting and watching the encounter. They'll be crossing swords with Oman.
That is going to be one game to watch out for, because Oman, the home nation, it's a Saturday and a lot of people will be coming to the grounds to support the women's team. And that's where they would want to put up a big show. Not just win, but win in a very convincing fashion, help their net run rate as well. Outswinger to start off with, and too good for Amna Kashif, the number 11 of Qatar.
Yeah, Oman would definitely want to put up a much better performance and try to get a big win over Saudi to enhance their chances.
What I would like to see is probably one of those batters to get a big 100, put on an impressive show, show their capabilities. We'll talk more about that. Wicket and 4 runs from that over of Sia Swarup Gokhale. 37 for the loss of 9 at the end of 15 overs. Vaishnavi Mahesh will have more opportunity, this time from the Oman LNG end. Probably one of the better spinners that I've seen in the women's category. Late cut, and it's only going to be a dot ball. One thing that Vaishnavi Mahesh would want to work on is her pace. She's very accurate, very good. But probably if she can push the ball a little more, creating a little bit more of an excitement Oh, much better. Much better from Vaishnavi Mahesh. No answers from Qatar at the moment.
Qatar at the moment just going through their motions, and Vaishnavi Mahesh has an opportunity here to pick up the last wicket.
Flighted, trying to tonk it. Is Akhtar not able to get underneath the ball? Oh, lovely delivery. Incredible. Fires it in. Probably was the flipper. The delivery that got the back of Priyanka Mendonca, the captain of Oman. Love the variations that are on option from Vaishnavi Mahesh. Fends this one. So Freddie, a lot of variations that Vaishnavi Mahesh has been offering here.
Yeah, she seems to be having lots of variations, and she seems to be well prepared and bowling really tight.
No answers whatsoever from Qatar. Just one run coming from that over of Vaishnavi Mahesh. 16 overs done. 38 for the loss of 9, Qatar. Isha Oza comes back into the attack from a different end. She's been one of those prolific performers for UAE. Undoubtedly one of the better women's players that UAE possesses of.
Wicket to wicket. Nothing, giving away nothing.
One thing that you will notice from UAE is a very professional approach. They'll not look to try a lot. They'll stick to the basics. And that has worked for them. Once again, just keeping it tight. And at the moment, Qatar are just looking to stay in the middle, spend some time.
She's been very quick with her deliveries.
Sliding down the leg, and this one will be required to reload. Really feel that Isha Oza is looking to get the pads of Rohit Akhtar, trying to get a leg before. Once again, trying to get a pads, misses it, all ends up. Even the wicketkeeper lets it go this time. It's going to be 5 freebies for Qatar on this occasion, and they'll take it with 2 hands considering the situation.
Oh, they'll be extremely happy to have those 5 runs to their account.
No chance whatsoever for the young wicketkeeper, Tirtha Satish. She's generally very accurate. She's a live wire, change of angles from Isha Oza. Full toss, driven well. There is protection. That means that only a single for Qatar. It's been a good over for Qatar this time. 7 runs so far from it. They want to wrap it up very quickly. Isha Oza, she would like to have a wicket to her name, but it's not been in her favour so far. "45 for 9 so far. 7 runs from this over of Isha Oza so far with the ball to spare. Inside edge, and they're going to run. I think they should get just a single. So 8 runs from that over of Isha Oza. 17 overs done. 46 for the loss of 9, Qatar. Katie Thompson beating the outside edge of Amna Kashif, the number 11 for Qatar. Never going to be easy facing the quality of UAE. They like to keep things tight, and that's where they've been so incredible. A silly point in operation. Don't really think that Amna Kashif would have seen that earlier in her career. A silly point.
Yeah, the UAE girls, they not giving away anything, keeping it straight and tight. We have a silly point in action now. Oh, beaten.
Would have loved to see a slip as well, because with Katie Thompson operating, she's been beating the outside edge on multiple occasions of Amna Kashif. There's a huge chance that there might be an outside edge. But at the moment, it is the keeper and the bowler that are playing a game, where Amna Kashif is just a spectator. Katie Thompson. Outside edge. Runs towards the boundary. And some decent fielding will keep it down to just a single.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pranav. We should have a slip in place. She seems to be bowling just outside the off stump. Probably it could induce an edge.
Rohit Akhtar has to be looking for a big one. Not really. It's going to be a dot ball to wind that over. So just leaking 1 run per over. Katie Thompson, 2 runs and a 2 overs. 18 overs done. 47 for the loss of 9. Qatar. Michelle Botha.
Pranav, we have 2 things to watch out for here. If whether Qatar will reach 50 and whether they will be able to complete their quota of 20 overs. What do you say?
What are the odds? A game of probability here. 3 runs to 50. And they're up against Michelle Botha, who's had a brilliant day.
You can also see the fielders are all closing now, adding to the pressure.
Amna Kashif is not going to be doing anything stupid. She'll be happy to block the delivery, and that's where I think that Michelle Botha will have to produce a gem of a delivery to get the back of Amna Kashif. There's a higher probability of Michelle Botha getting the wicket of Rohit Akhtar, who might be happy to play a few shots. flighted and once again beating the outside edge. Three dot balls in a row, and immediately a quick discussion between Rohit Akhtar and Amna Kashif. 9 deliveries remaining. It'll certainly be a confidence booster if even these tailenders of Qatar manage to play out these 9 deliveries. Staying unbeaten, or rather not getting all out against a side like UAE, which is so dominant, I think that in itself is an achievement. What a gem of a delivery. We did mention that Michelle Botha will have to produce something that is close to a gem of a delivery. This was nothing less than a gem of a delivery, beating the inside edge, inside part of the bat, and finding that smallest of gaps between the bat and pad. And all that was required is to disturb the stumps. Not much that the number 11 could have ever done to that. No position to play any kind of shot. Such is the quality of Michelle Botha, who's picked up 2 wickets for herself without leaking a single run. She's also scored 45, an important 45. It'll be very interesting to see who the player of the match is.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there are some days where you can do nothing wrong. And today seems to be that day for Michelle Botha. 2 for none, giving away nothing. And as she has picked up 2 wickets to go along with the 45 which she scored in the first innings.
And that is how it all transpired. It all started with a boundary. They came up with some intent. And they were happy to be going after the UAE bowlers. Very intentful start from Qatar. But that did not last for a very long time, as the in-swinging Hinduja was very effective. Yes, a few runs came in terms of extras as well. But then it was the 2 pacers, Samaira Dharnidarka and Hinduja Nandkumar, who produced a moment of havoc. No batter was just good enough to just stand in the middle and manage the pressure, manage the proceedings. They were picking up wickets, and they were picking up wickets in a hurry. And that is where there's not much of an opportunity for Qatar. In came Michelle. She came and picked up a wicket for herself as well without leaking a run. Wickets were tumbling and tumbling very quickly. Sia Swarup Gokhale also got an opportunity. She picked up a wicket for herself of a good catch. And towards the end, it was Michelle Botha who produced a gem of a delivery. It was the arm ball that disturbed the stumps of the number 11 of Qatar. And what that means is that 47 all out, yes, no batter able to get into the double figures except the extras, which was the highest run scorer of 19 runs. But apart from that, Maria Teresa, the number 8 for Qatar, could get to 8 runs of 24 deliveries. Yes, Lihara Abesikara spent a few time in the middle, 20 deliveries for her as well, but that is all that the entire Qatar lineup could do, spend a lot of time.
Completely being outplayed, Qatar completely being outplayed by UAE. The pacers of UAE bowled extremely well. The first 8 overs sealed the game for them, with both Samaira and Hinduja picking up 6 wickets between them in those first 8 overs. Wonderful all-round performance by UAE, where Qatar had no answers to the questions posed by the UAE bowlers. And UAE will be high on confidence now. And of course, we can see that there is a huge difference in the quality of the team.
Yes, Michelle also picked up a couple of wickets without conceding a run, and 1 wicket for Sia Swarup Gokhale as well. And on the back of those 19 extras, yes, they were able to get to 47. So that's a match summary for you. UAE 183 for the loss of 5 on a day where they lost 3 wickets very early. It was Renita Rajit getting 96 of 50 to her career best, and she was partnered by Michelle Botha, who also got her career best of 45 or 42 deliveries. And together, they put up a stand of 125 runs to make sure, yes, It was Maria Teresa Jacob who picked up 3 wickets for 25. She was a pick of the bowler. Amna Kashif did well as well. Wonder why she did not bowl the other 2 overs. She got a wicket for herself and conceded 13 runs. So did Aisha. She picked up a wicket as well. But in reply, chasing 184 to win, Qatar just did not stand a chance. 47 all out. 8 runs for Maria Teresa Jacob. And apart from that, no contribution whatsoever. Yes, the Pacers shared the credits. Induja Nandakumar and Samara Dharni Darka, 3 wickets apiece for both of them. And Michelle Botha, I think she's had a dream run today. 2 wickets without conceding a run in her spell means that UAE has won this match convincingly by 136 runs. We'll take a short break here in the box. On the other side, it's going to be the post-match presentation.
Time for the post-match presentation from Oman Cricket Academy ground, Muscat, for the match number 4 of GCC Women's T20I tournament. Today's match was played between Qatar and UAE. UAE batted first and scored 183 mammoth total through some brilliant batting by Rinita Oza and of course Michelle Botha. Some excellent bowling also from Qatar. It was Malia Teresa who got 4 overs, 25 runs and 3 wickets. But eventually UAE won the match by a huge margin. Before going to that, may I ask the captain of Qatar, Aisha, can you please come once again? Come closer. Aisha, first 3 overs you were in the game, got 3 vital wickets of UAE. But then there was a change in the bowling and entirely changed the complexion of the game with the Renita and Botha took the take from you and got about 125 run partnership with them.
Yes, initially we did quite well. We got the main batters, and I think after that the momentum shifted. That's where we let the runs come in. We have to still work on that areas, and we'll get back.
What we were thinking that today in the initial stages of the game, you were totally top on the UAE, 3 vital wickets inclusive of that Oza. You have got that wicket. We thought that you are going to come back today again. And of course the change of Al Khair bowling, I think that changed the entire complexion. She has given away 20 runs in that over, and from then on things going out of your hand.
Yeah, it didn't fall right for the foul, her bowling. Yes, we had taken the major wicket of Isha Oza. That was, I think, that's where the team was a bit, relaxed. I think we shouldn't have been that relaxed after the 3 wickets. UAE being the experienced side, they know how to get back into the game. But from our side, we need to work more and close the gaps. Yeah.
Well, you are improving in every match. Today we have seen improvement in your fielding in the first quarter of the game, but you'll keep your hard work doing and hopefully it will pay it off. Thank you, Aisha.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Captain of the UAE, Isha Oza, congratulations for being the second successive match you have won. How you feel after winning the 2 matches in 2 days?
It feels good. It feels good. It was a good game. I think it was good that many people contributed in today's victory, and it's good to see new people shining.
I want to ask you one question. In UAE, all through the year you guys are having practice, you are having practice matches, some teams of different countries also coming and giving you the experience which other teams didn't have. So how much this Gulf tournament you feel that it will be helpful to you?
It's definitely helpful. I think I said this yesterday as well. This is where we started playing our cricket as well, 2014. That's the first time I played my international cricket, and that was the Gulf Cup. And I think, we've grown from there. We've gotten more exposure. We've played better cricket. We're playing against better sides, and we're learning from them now.
How about your coach, Amerat?
I mean, he's brilliant. He's played for UAE himself, so he gives us a lot of inputs about how to go about the game. And it really helps us, and it shows on the field, I think.
Thank you and good luck for the next match. We go for the Player of the Match award. It was a unanimous decision. It was Rinjita who can come and take the Player of the Match. Beautiful. 96 runs with the match referee. Mr. Ram Mohan will provide her the medallion. Come closer. Rinjita, congratulations. Being the highest score of your career so far, we were going through your records. It was 27 highest we have seen, but after that today you break all the record. What was in your mind when you came? Because 3 wickets down for UAE, and they must be looking for you to get some runs.
Yeah, obviously the position we were in, it was important for us to just have a partnership. I think that's something me and Mish kept talking in between. Obviously, anything in my slot, I'm going for it, and it doesn't matter what the situation of the game is. Just something that I keep doing.
Same question, how much benefit you think this to making this GCC T20 Women's Cup for your side and for yourself?
Obviously, a good exposure for us because obviously, like Oza said, this is where we started. This is my debut tournament as well. So I think from where I started to where I am, it's been a long journey, and I'm really glad I came back here having this performance in my side. So yeah.
Congratulations. Keep doing the same for the team. Just for the records, Renita and Bol Michelle have topped their highest runs scored in their life. Very well done. Keep it up. This is all from the post-match presentation.